In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the CSS text shadow property to apply shadows to your text. It's pretty cool, and we're getting started right now. Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. It's Bjorn from Higher Learning Lab, where we help you code better so you can earn more for yourself, for your clients, and for your business. And if you haven't done so yet, click subscribe, then hit the bell notification icon so you're notified when I publish more tutorials for you. With that out of the way, let's head over to the screen capture so we can learn more about CSS text shadow. Let's check it out. On the left-hand side, I've got a really basic HTML site, and I just have one heading tag called "This is my title," and I just have a style in here that defines the color of H1 to a very light gray. And on the right-hand side, you can see the text right here. It's very light gray. Doesn't stand out very much, but we're going to fix that right now with a cool little text shadow. So to add text shadow, all we have to do is type in the property text shadow, colon, and I'm going to make it 2 pixels horizontally adjusted. So this will shift the shadow to the right behind the letters. I'm going to make it 2 pixels vertically shifted, so it's shifted down 2 pixels. And I'm going to make it blur 4 pixels. And I'm going to play with these numbers a bit in a minute so you can see a little bit of what happens when you change them. So I'm going to blur it 4 pixels, and I'm going to make the color black. And I'm going to save this file and refresh and see what happens. You see how that made the title pop? It's still not the easiest to read title, but it really made it stand out just by adding that shadow. So as promised, we're going to play around those numbers a bit and see what happens. I'm going to zoom right in so it's really big. So if we change this 2 to a 0, we're going to have the shadow right behind the text, horizontally adjusted. So when we had a 2 pixels, everything was shifted 2 pixels to the right behind the text. Now it's centered on the text. If we change the vertical to 0, it shifts them up. So now that the shadow is right behind the text, which is also a pretty cool effect. And the blur is at 4 pixels. If we reduce that to 1 pixel, for example, it's not going to go, the black isn't going to fade to gray out as far as it does now. So if we refresh the page, it makes the shadow much tighter, almost looks just like a border, but it's actually a blurred shadow. And we can also increase this to 25 pixels. And then it just looks like a gray smudge behind the letters, which might be the effect you're going for. And if we change this back to something more reasonable, like 2 pixels, and we horizontally adjust this by 20 and vertically adjust it by 20, it looks like the text is way off the page. And because the colors are kind of wonky, it looks weird. But if we were to, for example, make the shadow gray and make the actual text black, it might look a lot cooler. Now the background, the gray, is pretty subtle, but it looks pretty cool this way because you got the really dark letters. It looks like the shadow is way in the background. And you can do all kinds of cool stuff like this just by playing around. Sometimes it's hard, unless you've done this a lot, it's really hard to visualize what 20 pixels and 20 pixels and 2 pixels and the hex code E will look like. So it's best to just type in text shadow, go to some website like CodePen or JS Fiddle, and just play around with these values and see how that affects the output, and you can get some really cool effects that I'm sure you're going to enjoy. So that's how we use CSS text shadow. It's pretty powerful. It really adds a more dynamic visual element to your web page if you do it right. If you overdo it, it'll look terrible. So you got to use it sparingly, but if you do it well, it works to great effect. I hope this video helps you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below the video. If you haven't done so yet, hit subscribe, then hit the bell notification icon so you're notified when I publish more tutorials. And next up is clicking one of these videos on the right-hand side so you can learn more coding and get even better at it. And until next time, keep crushing it, and I will see you in the next video.